Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. Good to see you here this evening. And to those joining us on live stream, we wish you Shabbat Shalom as well. Welcome you. We are going to, of course, be using our Elul prayer book for the second Shabbat of 4, as well as Slichot, which is 1 week from tomorrow night. I hope you will join us. Please do sign up for that online. There's no fee, but we do like to know how many to come, and it is a potluck, so come and bring a vegetarian dish, and we'll have some wonderful study and a beautiful brief service for Slichot Saturday evening, beginning at 6 o'clock. So we'll begin here. We start with the blowing of shofar for Elul, page 89. Reach deep into the sanctuary of the heart. Reach beyond to the infinite and eternal. Reach deep with every quiet breath. Reach beyond, summoned by the ancient ringing blast of the shofar. And page 90, number 3. Summon the energy to sound the horn. Muster the strength to change. Move from judgment to compassion. Shift your perspective and heal. Be the first to apologize. Offer the hand of forgiveness. Open your heart to hear the horn. Believe in your power to change. On page 91, Baruch Atah Adonai Shomea Teruah. Blessed are you, Adonai, who hears the sounding of the shofar. Tekiah. Shivarim Teruah. Tekiah. Thank you to Alex Molina for blowing shofar so beautifully. And we will now continue on page 3 with Hine Matov, how good, how pleasant it is for all of us to be here together.
הנה מה טוב מנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב מנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Page 6. We'll read responsive sections. Before we slip too quickly into the season of the soul, let there be a Sabbath of Sabbaths for the heart.
Before the music of creation's majesty, let there be a silent praise of existence.
Before the feast of sanctified words, let there be a poetry of solitude.
Before we enter the palaces of prayer, let us find within ourselves a place of calm.
Before we revel in the wondrous and sublime, let there be an honest inward gaze.
Before the rites and ceremonies of awe, of attentiveness.
Page 8, we'll continue in the middle of the page with Achat Sha'alti.
Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai, ota avakesh. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai, ota avakesh. Shivti bevet Adonai, kol yamei chayai. Lachazot benoam benoam Adonai, ulvaker behechalo. Lachazot benoam benoam Adonai, ulvaker behechalo.
And we'll continue on page 10 with lighting of the Shabbat candles. I'd like to invite Renee and Nicole Mirowitz to lead us in the lighting and blessing. Amen. Beautiful.
Get up there and I
You
put up a
did
candle.
it. You did it. Page 13. And we'll continue with Lechu Niranana, Psalm 95.
Lechu neranana l'Adonai, nariya litzur yishenu, nekadma fanav betoda, bizmirot nariya lo.
Page 15. Continue with the Hebrew near the bottom of the page from Psalm 99, Romamu.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Page 18, we'll continue with Psalm 92, Mizmor Shir. Mizmor Shir leyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor Shir leyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות עלי עשור ועלי נבל עלי היגיון בכינור מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך במעשה ידיך ארנן מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני
ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. Page 22. We'll continue with Lecha Dodi, singing all the verses on this page. And during the last verse, I'll ask that you please stand, face the doorway to the sanctuary as we symbolically welcome the Shabbat bride. And those watching on live stream, feel free to stand in your room and face the doorway to greet the bride in your place as well.
Lecha Dodi, Yalla la la likrat kala, Yalla la 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 Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat nikabel, Yalla la 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 lecha Dodi, Yalla la 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 likrat kala, Yalla la 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 Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat nikabel. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad hishmianu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'lithilah Yalla la la lecha Dodi, Yalla la la likrat kala, Yalla la la Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'mashavat tchila. Yalla la la lecha Dodi, Yalla la la likrat kala, Yalla la la Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Hitoreri, Kiva orech, Kumi ori, Shir daberi, Kevod Adonai, alayich nigla. Yalla la la lecha Dodi, Yalla la la likrat kala, Yalla la la Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat nikabela. Voi v'shalom, atzeret bala, gam b'simcha uvtola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, Yalla la la lecha Dodi, Yalla la la likrat kala, Yalla la la Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat nikabel. Yalla la la lecha Dodi, Yalla la la likrat kala, Yalla la la Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat nikabela.
Please please remain standing. We'll turn to page 24 for Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
ויעמד יברח ירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו.
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה.
Yitbarach.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קדושה.
Richu.
לילה מן כה ברכתה ושירתה
תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה
ויאמרו.
Amen. Page 26, we continue with Baruch.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed. Page 28. We'll read in the middle together. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your great name fills the universe with majestic might. Your word creates twilight and dusk. As your wisdom opens the gates of night, your discernment separates the changing seasons and causes the passage of time. The stars arrayed across the sky reveal your design. You roll out the cycle of darkness and light, shaping day and night. You sweep away day and carry the world into nightfall, setting day apart from nighttime. You are God of all we can perceive and all that is beyond our perception. Living, eternal God, be our sovereign to the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, creator of twilight and dusk. Page 30, we'll continue with Ahavat Olam.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
And back on page 35, read together near the bottom. Love the strangers among you. Love them as yourself. See yourself in their eyes. With your own hands bind up their wounds. Teach your children to unlock their hearts and share their wealth. Inscribe words of welcome at your gates and ports of entry, for you have been strangers in every corner of the world. Mi Chamocha is found on page 40.
מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי, ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יא בבי בים בים בם, יא בבא בים בם, יא בבא בים בים בם, יא בבא בים בם, איי 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 איי, יא בבא בים בם, איי 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 איי, יא בבא בים בם. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגלום יחזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Page 42, we'll read together prayer for peace and comfort and protection as we go to sleep in the evening and wake up in the morning. We read together, bless our sleep with peace, Adonai, and awaken us to life when we rise. With power sublime, spread over us your shelter of shalom, and through your wisdom restore us, make us whole. Let your name proclaim your presence in our lives, be our shield, make us stronger than the enemies we face, illness and war, famine and sorrow, and stronger than the enemies in our hearts, wickedness and sin. Carry us to safety as on wings, for you are the monarch of grace, the sovereign of compassion. You are the one who cares for us and sets us free. Watch over us, we who go forth to life. Watch over us that we may come home in peace, now until the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed One, you spread over us a canopy of peace, a shelter of shalom over all Israel, your people, and over Jerusalem. Page 46, continue with V'shamru, remembering Shabbat as a sign of the eternal covenant between God and the Jewish people.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש.
Page 48 and the following pages in Hebrew. Will you please rise for tefillah?
Adonai safatai tivtachu fi agi tehilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Page 60.
אלוהינו אלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, רצה במנוחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך, ותן חלקנו בתורתך. סבנו מטובך, ושמחנו בשועתך. וטהר ליבנו, וטהר ליבנו, וטהר ליבנו לעבדך באמת. וטהר ליבנו, וטהר ליבנו, וטהר ליבנו לעבדך באמת. Yalai, 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 la 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 la, yala la la la, yala la la la. V'taher libenu, v'taher libenu, v'taher libenu le'ovdecha bemet. והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה ורצון שבת קודשך וינוחו וישראל מקדש שמך ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Page 63, please be seated. Bring joy to my life of service when I turn to you for purpose and hope. God, teach me your path. Your truth will guide my steps. Point my heart toward awe. Your name, the center of my devotion. On page 64. Zochreinu Adonai Eloheinu bo l'tovah, eternal our God, remember us.
Amen.
Amen. Uvakdeinu vo livracha, be mindful of us.
Amen.
Uvehoshienu vo lechayim, and redeem us for a life of goodness and blessing.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai hamachazir shchinato l'tzion. Blessed are you whose divine presence is felt again in Zion. Page 70, we'll continue with a prayer for peace. Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We'll take a moment now for individual silent prayer and reflection.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
A prayer of healing for loved ones. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov ve'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu yivarech v'yirapeh kol cholei Yisrael v'et kol cholei Adam. May God, who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all those who are in need of healing. We think of Wendy Sidlowski, Evelyn House, Ann Ford, Don Ramsey, Alvin Larch, Carol Cohen, Corinne Johnston, Tom Wilder, Abigail Batsigny Valeri, Butch Horn, Naomi Harris, Alan Webb, Amy Jackson, Diana Fernandez, David Greenberg. We think also of those in Israel and in Gaza. We think especially of those who are still hostages remaining in captivity in Gaza. Pray for their safe and immediate release and return home. If anyone has any names to add for someone who is sick or injured in need of healing, please feel free to do so. And for those,
Precious but right.
thank you. For those watching on live stream, we invite you to mention names at this time as well. And we say, V'tishlach lehem, Rufuat Shlema, Rufuat HaNefesh, Rufuat HaGuf, V'nomar, Amen. May God grant all of them, those whose names we have read and mentioned, those in our own hearts and minds, a complete and speedy healing, a healing of body and a healing of spirit. We say, Amen. Page 77, turn and find the words to this prayer of healing for loved ones, Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
So I'd like to begin tonight with a question. You don't have to feel obligated to answer. And if you do know the answer from studying Torah, don't give it away. But if not, you may want to guess, but we'll see. And the question is, what do parents and birds have in common? And it's not, yeah. Any? Parents and birds. Or parents who are birds. What's that? I'm hearing a couple of them. Okay, they watch over, sure. Okay, yeah, they take care of young, and all those things. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the answer I'm going to give based on rabbinic commentary on the Torah, it wouldn't occur. But in order to give the answer, let's turn to the Torah. First, I wanted to read, and you don't have to find it anywhere. I'm just going to read this short passage. This is from Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 16. Very familiar verse, part of the Ten Commandments. Honor your father and mother, as Adonai your God has commanded you, that you may long endure, that you may fare well in the land that Adonai your God is giving you. I'm familiar with that. Commandment number 4. And the other is from a little later, Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 6 and 7, from Ki Tetzei. And so I'm talking about this tonight, because that is our portion this week, Ki Tetzei. And this is what it says. If along the road you chance upon a bird's nest, in any tree or on the ground, with fledglings or eggs, and the mother sitting over the fledglings or on the eggs, do not take the mother together with her young. Let the mother go and take only the young, in order that you may fare well and have a long life. Does anyone see a connection in those two passages? Of course, one's about parents and one's about birds. Has to do with the wording that follows the commandment. So it says, the connection has to do with respect shown in treatment of other living beings, and more specifically with the reward promised for following God's commandments in these cases. In both, the reward is long life. And it's very unusual, because in fact, these are the only two cases in the entire Torah that reward is promised after giving a commandment. So the statement promising long life actually is not only very unusual, but also, in some ways, very troublesome. Its apparent simplicity, like that of many other such assertions, raises some serious questions in our mind. How do we reconcile this biblical teaching with the real world around us? We unfortunately know all too well that in our experience, those who follow the Torah's teachings, who are, according to these passages, considered good people, are not always rewarded the way we think they should be. And we know equally well that those who spurn these teachings, who, according to the Torah, are considered evil, are not always punished. So where does that leave us? Moreover, in our day and age, the line between what constitutes good and evil, as we know, is becoming continually more blurry, at least depending on whose opinion is being used. Now, of course, we are not the first to be skeptical about this. It's been happening for centuries. In fact, there's a story in Jewish tradition, a very difficult story to hear, about Rabbi Elisha ben Abuya in the 2nd century. And the story goes, brief but pretty powerful. The story is told of Rabbi Elisha ben Abuya witnessing a father and his son. And the father says to the son, "Son, I want you to go over to that tree over there, climb up the tree, get the eggs, chase the mother bird away," because that's what the Torah says, "and bring the eggs back." So the boy, listening and honoring his father, goes up the tree, and also following the mitzvah, the commandment of chasing away the mother bird, does exactly that as his father told him. But instead of coming back safely, the boy falls from the tree and he dies. And the story ends, that's told about this, is that Rabbi Elisha ben Abuya, upon witnessing this, was so shocked and so disheartened and dismayed that he completely abandoned Judaism. He became a defector, and he became known after that as Acher, meaning the other one. They didn't even want to call him by name. So the original, he who must not be named, right, before Voldemort. So this is a story of one reaction to discovering that life is not so cut and dry as described in the Torah from many centuries ago. So the question is, though, how do we deal with these discrepancies? This is a very extreme story to talk about it. Where on the spectrum do we stand? I've asked similar questions before. Do we accept the teachings of the Torah literally on one end of the spectrum? Or do we act like Rabbi Elisha ben Abuya and completely defect, giving up our complete belief system? When we realize that often the Torah's statements are not actually literally true, do we abandon them? For us, it would seem that the answer likely lies somewhere in between these two ends of the spectrum, between blind faith and complete skepticism, depending on our own experiences and our own level of faith. As to what this level is, that is extremely personal for each of us. It is not the way of Reform Judaism to dictate what we must or must not believe. And yet, as Reform Jews, our decisions must be taken seriously. They must be informed ones. It is our duty to choose our level of belief, and therefore of observance, through serious examination of tradition, as well as of our own thoughts and feelings about it. We cannot just accept. We must not simply reject. We need to search and find our own answers in the spectrum. Now, these upcoming High Holy Days are a time to do so. And such searching begins now, during this preparatory Hebrew month of Elul. Where this quest will lead us in the year 5786 coming up, only time will tell. But we must nonetheless continue to engage in this process, both individually and together as a community. It is only through this continued searching that we ultimately can hope to find wholeness in our lives in the coming year and for many years to come. And with this in mind, I wanted to conclude with a reading that some of you may recognize from our regular Siddur, regular prayer book, Mishkan Tefillah. It's on page 57 if anyone wants the reference for another time. And it says, "You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service." Amen. Shabbat Shalom. And now, as we continue our searching, we also take time to share happy moments, that smachot that you would like to share. As I always say, big, small, in between, anything that you want to share. Good news, yes.
Tomorrow is my spouse and my fourth anniversary.
Mazel tov.
Anniversary.
Wonderful. Come on up.
Mirowitz is
Good.
Macy's birthday, she'll be 90 on Tuesday.
Wow.
My grandmother will be 96 tomorrow. She's always grandma. And Eliza got accepted into Jewish program.
We're so excited. That's wonderful. Mazel tov to Eliza and to your mother and to everyone, your whole family. Other good news. Yes.
nice.
I couldn't quite hear, but
He's got a book reading
a book reading. Okay. Mazel tov. That's
for
exciting.
Navigator Noun.
Wonderful.
That can be sold
Which
in
is on
spinning
display
dreidel.
in spinning dreidel. Yes. Other news?
I
Okay.
have two.
Oh, good.
I got to go and see one of our former choir members at his birthday celebration for turning 90 on Tuesday, David Greenberg. That was pretty awesome, and Rabbi Garfine was there. And I got to start my women's tech study group again this past Thursday, and it was a lot of fun. So it's been a good
wonderful.
week. Sure.
Okay. I don't want to jump the
Well.
gun, but I know a lot of you know and love Sidney Levy, who has led music for a number of our services, graduated from FSU just this past spring, and is now back at home in Atlanta. We just learned today from Brian Pelk that Sid is applying to cantorial school at HUC for next fall. Or probably next summer, actually. First year's in Israel. So that is very exciting. I've already put her in touch with a rabbinical student I know from previous congregation who's entering his second year. And we're very excited for her and look forward to hearing great things. She'd make an amazing cantor.
She would be my third.
Wow, that's amazing. That is great. So we like to feel we had a small part in that, even though she grew up at a different congregation. She was very connected here. So if she comes to visit,
Yes.
We'll look forward to hearing continued good news. So we will continue on page 78 with Aleinu. I'll ask everyone to please rise as the ark is opened.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה
גדולה
ליוצר
ליוצר
בראשית,
בראשית,
שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשיבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Mazel tov. Please be seated. Page 85, poem that may be familiar. Sunset and evening star and one clear call for me, and may there be no moaning of the bar when I put out to sea. But such a tide as moving seems asleep, too full for sound and foam, when that which drew from out the boundless deep turns again home. Twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark, and may there be no sadness of farewell when I embark. For though from out are born of time and place, the flood may bear me far, I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar. Remember for Shloshim, those who have passed away recently, Linda Basnet and Tina Linnell Di Gregorio. We remember from IDF, Ariel Lubliner, and we remember Idan Shaivi, who was kidnapped on October 7th, and his body was recently recovered by the IDF. We also remember all of those in Israel and in Gaza. We remember that this is day 700 since the start of the war, since the taking of the hostages on October 7th and the ensuing war with Hamas starting at that time. We remember the yahrzeit, the anniversary of death of Ralph Colvin, Harriet Baker Greenberg, Reuben Losh, Gilbert Parker, Gertrude Abrams, Adele Batten, Mary Edwards Eberstein, Stephen Lee, Sarah Lewin, Dr. Bernard Saltzman, Dr. Richard Allen Smith, Julius Behrman. If anyone has other names to mention for yahrzeit or shloshim, anniversary of death or recent death, please feel free to do so as I look in your direction once again. Those watching on live stream, feel free to mention names at this time as well. For the names that have been mentioned and read, for those in their own hearts and minds, those who have no one to say the words of Kaddish for them, we turn to page 86. There we find words of Kaddish, praising God for the gift of life and the memories we have of loved ones. It's our custom to stand together if you choose as a sacred congregation, and again if you choose to join in reading these words in support of those in mourning. Yit Gadal v'yit Gadash S'mei Rabbah Ve'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei techol Beit Yisrael v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'amei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Kedusha B'richu Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran ve'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the source of peace bestow peace on all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort to all who are bereaved, and we say,
Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. And I'd like to invite our treasurer, Mark Burke, up to share some greetings and announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And thank you, Rabbi and Stephanie, for leading our services tonight, and on hail for the accompaniment. Again, awesome, and thank you. Tomorrow morning, Shabbat services continue at 10 a.m. with Rabbi Sidlofsky in the Gibbs Family Chapel. Maura Stephanie briefly mentions it's not too late to join Maura Stephanie's weekly women's text study group on Thursday at noon. The first session was last week, so you can catch up quickly. And Rabbi's Lunch and Learn starts on Wednesday, October 22nd. And the registrations for Rabbi's Introduction to Judaism class, Para-Rabbinics course, and Adult B'nai Mitzvah class are now open, so see your temple times for additional details. Shabbat Shebang, our lively musical Shabbat experience for families with kids 4 and under, will be at 9 a.m. on September 13th, and will meet on the second Saturday of each month throughout and going through to May. Slichot studies, service, and potluck dinner is on Saturday, September 13th at 6 p.m. In this whale of a session led by Rabbi Sidlofsky, we explore the writing of Midrash, a creative way to reimagine and reinterpret text through new eyes, yours. We will discuss what Midrash is, how to write Midrash, and how the narrative of the Yom Kippur afternoon Jonah story can be expanded to connect to your own experiences. No background is required, just the willingness to be creative through writing and open to exploring new ideas. Be sure to get your order in for a specialty round chalot for Rosh Hashanah. Orders will be closing soon. You can find the order link in your temple times. We're just 2.5 weeks away for our High Holy Days. We begin with Erev Rosh Hashanah service on Monday, September 22nd at 7 p.m. For a full list of the High Holy Day services, resources, and information about our campaign, please visit the temple website, High Holy Day page. And at the end of tonight's services, please be sure to put your copy of the Mishkan Halev, that's the prayer book, that we used tonight back on the table next to the sanctuary door. Please do not put them in the cedar holder in front of your seats. Thank you very much. And as always, there's something for everyone at Temple Israel. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Mark. And just a reminder again about that Slichot program I mentioned earlier. We would prefer that you sign up online so we know how many are coming. And it'll be a wonderful, meaningful evening. In addition to this month of Elul, we have that evening especially to really start and continue the mood leading into the High Holy Days, a very important, special evening. I want to say thank you to Stephanie and to Angel for the beautiful music, as always. Thank you to everyone for coming and participating. And I do want to just say, I see some members of our choir here. The choir has been practicing diligently for weeks now. Is this on? I think it's on. Yeah. And I want to thank them in advance for their wonderful dedication and talent. You're in for a real treat for this High Holy Days, and thanks to Stephanie and Angel again for leading the choir so skillfully and with such dedication. So please do join us for another special reason on these High Holy Days. So we are going to conclude before benediction, Kiddush and Hamotzi with Adon Olam, page 93, an oldie but a goodie.
Adon Olam
Asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'et nasa b'chefso kol azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yiyeh v'tifara ve'hu echad ve'ein sheni lehamshir lo lehachbira beli reshit beli tachlit ve'lo ha'oz ve'hamisra ve'hu eli ve'chai goali ve'tzor chevli be'et tzara ve'hu nisi umanos li menat kosi ve'yom ekra biyado avkid ruchi ve'et ishan ve'aira ve'im ruchi keviati Adonai li ve'lo ira. And Rabbi Garfein, will you lead us in Kiddush? Thank you. Adonai oz le'emo yiten, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. God, we ask on this Shabbat that you give us continued strength as we renew our spirits and our energy. May we continue our search for our own truths and our own meaning in the coming week and in the coming year that we are about to enter. May it lead us to a life of shalom, of wholeness, of peace. Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom. And as always, please join us for the oneg following the service.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodesho b'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit Ki hu yom tehila lemikrai kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'charta v'otanu kedashta mikol ha'amim. V'shabbat kodshecha b'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
L'chaim.
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 And we'll join in Hamotzi.
Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.